Business Insider tweeted something that caught my eye. Now, the full video is about 6 minutes or so. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but just know the rest of it goes into the egregious wealth that Kylie Jenner has and that the Kardashian family has. So, this is a little snippet. It's honestly one of the most powerful arguments against our economic system that I've ever seen, and it's not even trying to be that. Watch.
Around 155 million combined followers on Instagram and Twitter. Her huge social media following also brings in a hefty income for Kylie through sponsored posts. The estimated value of a single post is $1 million. She's posted ads for Quay sunglasses, Teamy Blends Detox Tea, Sugar Bear Hair Vitamins, and more. Kylie's social media is also where we can see how she spends her millions. In 2016, she purchased a 1.4-acre Hidden Hills compound, which includes a 1,300 square foot mansion, for $12 million. Over the last 2 years, Kylie has bought at least 5 other properties totaling more than $40 million. With all those properties, she definitely has the space to store all of her luxury cars. Since receiving a $225,000 black Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon for her 16th birthday, Kylie has amassed a pretty impressive luxury car collection. She's recently reported to have paid an estimated $10,000 to wrap her G-Wagon to match her $400,000 Lamborghini Aventador.
When she does a promoted post on social media, it's $1 million. She makes $1 million off of one tweet promoting one product. So she bought a $12 million house that is literally 12 tweets or Instagram posts or Facebook, whatever. There are two things that are inescapable conclusions based on this story. Number one, you got to tax the rich. You got to tax them. Now, am I in favor of, taxing them so much that they're no longer rich? No, I'm fine with people being rich. I'm fine with Kylie Jenner being rich. I mean, she got very lucky in the family she was born into, and a lot of it was kind of handed to her. But she did create her own makeup line, and she did do, I'm not taking away that from her. I'm not trying to, force her to make nothing. But you got to raise taxes. And you have to believe, to one extent or another, in redistribution. Everybody does, but it's just to differing degrees. I mean, if you look at this and you don't see a problem that this exists alongside 78% of workers in this country living paycheck to paycheck, half of workers in this country making $30,000 a year or less, about 500,000 homeless people, about 50 or 60,000 homeless veterans, 500,000 people going bankrupt because they can't afford their medical bills. If you don't see the connection there, if you don't see that there's a problem that those exist simultaneously, then I don't know what to tell you. There is a problem with it, and you do need to do redistribution. You do need to tax the rich higher, and you do need to reinvest that into programs for the people, whether it's infrastructure projects, a job project, giving everybody health care, giving everybody higher education. I mean, you got to tax them. It's the most straightforward solution. I mean, you could radically change the economic system and totally move away from what we have now, but, I don't know. I can't conceive of exactly how that would come about and what that would look like in the process to get there. What I can conceive of is raising their taxes. Raising their taxes and redistributing in a reasonable way. So that's the first point. Second point is, don't tell me that meritocracy is real. Don't tell me. Now, if you're creating a system from scratch, do I agree with having some level of meritocracy in the system? Yes. I like the idea of incentivizing people to be productive. And I think everybody to some extent agrees with that, okay? But we don't have a system that's a meritocracy. She's not working harder than, a lot of the people a lot of people I know. I've told the story before on air, but one of the hardest working guys I ever knew in high school worked 3 jobs and was barely getting by. He's one of the hardest working guys I've ever known. 3 jobs, barely getting by. We don't even have, the minimum wage in this country is not even a living wage. That exists at the same time that Kylie Jenner makes $1 million per promoted tweet. I rest my case. We got to have a living wage. If you're arguing for the status quo, you're saying, I think it's fine if somebody works full time and they still don't make enough money to get by. That's wage slavery, man. Like, that's what that is. We could try to, sugarcoat it and dress it up and act like it's not that, but it is that. That's exactly what it is. We can't have a system like that, man. We just can't. You know how much she's worth, Kylie Jenner? $1 billion. Dog, she's 22 years old. She's worth $1 billion. These are the people who get their taxes cut. This is, by the way, Donald Trump. We just spoke about this. There was a study that came out the other day. Since Trump's tax bill went into effect, which was just the Bush tax cuts on steroids, the richest 400 families in the country pay 23% in taxes. The poorest 50% of this country, they pay 24%. The richest 23%, the poorest 24%. The poor now officially pay a higher tax rate than the rich. That's a broken system. That's a system that's rigged for the rich and for corporations. That's what that is. So listen, I'm not grabbing a pitchfork. I'm not grabbing a gun. I'm not throwing her in the gulag. I'm not confiscating her wealth. But I am going to raise her taxes quite a bit. Top marginal tax rate is what, 35% now? There was a time when it was 91%. That doesn't mean the government takes 91% of all of our money, by the way. It doesn't mean that. It means that over a certain point, they tax at 91%. So every dollar over like $5 million, they tax at 91% in income. But even that wasn't the effective rate. That was the nominal rate, which is just the rate on paper. The effective rate was about 43%. Do you understand how much good can be done if you just take that top marginal rate from 35% and raise it to 43% again and get rid of the loopholes and deductions? Do you realize how much good can be done? How much revenue can be raised? Do you realize how far a Wall Street transaction tax goes in funding the programs that we know we need? Do you realize how simple it is, how straightforward it is, how easy it is to get Medicare for all, free college, a living wage, ending the wars, right to a union, an infrastructure deal, a Green New Deal? Do you realize how simple it is to raise the funds? All we got to do is stop our illegal and offensive wars, which we wasted trillions of dollars on, and raise taxes on the rich and raise taxes on Wall Street and bring back a reasonable estate tax. I mean, you want to talk about, it's the Republicans who say all the time, you should have to work for everything you get. Can't get lazy. Can't just be lazy and get handed stuff. That's their argument against welfare. But when it comes to the do-nothing kids of super rich parents, they say, I want them to be able to hand them the $7 billion they have in the bank and have it not be taxed. You want a spoiled kid who's done nothing in their entire life. I'm not talking about Kylie Jenner here. I'm talking about just a random, generic, spoiled rich kid who's done nothing in his entire life. If his daddy dies, he just gets that $7 billion, no questions asked. Here's the thought. What if we just let him keep $1 billion? I'm pretty sure he would still never have to work again and he'd be totally fine, but we'd have $6 billion to do really positive, important, good things. $6 billion. $6 billion. And that's me being kind, saying, let him keep $1 billion. Let him keep $1 billion, but say we're going to take the 6 and we got stuff we got to handle. We got some kids who are starving that we're going to take care of over here. Just so you know. There's a couple kids who are starving. We're going to take care of that. I know that you want this in order to get your 13th Lamborghini and your second mega yacht, but we're going to pass on that. We're going to feed the kids if you don't mind. Is that okay? Is that okay with you? So the 2 points are, number one, tax the rich. I'm not an unreasonable dude. We can have a debate. We can have a discussion as to where we draw the line, how much the taxes are, so on and so forth, how much money they get to keep. We can have that discussion, okay? That's a reasonable discussion to have. But what's not reasonable is to say, oh, it's good the way it is right now. No. And the other point is meritocracy is a myth. We can try to create a system that is more like a meritocracy. I'd agree with that. We should do that. But right now, it's not a meritocracy, and if you think it is, you're delusional.